Four things that I don't understand about Christianity. Number one, Christians hate the hijab so much that in some Christian countries they've passed laws to ban the hijab. Yes, countries like France, they've passed laws to ban the wearing of the hijab in their schools. The funny thing is, the hijab is just an Arabic word for the headscarf. And the headscarf was worn by the great women of the Bible. Yes, Christian women like Mary, the mother of Jesus, Naomi, all the great women of the Bible used to wear the hijab because it's their tradition. And here are these Christian countries banning the hijab. If Mary, the mother of Jesus, was young today, would be banned from enrolling into a Christian school because she's wearing a hijab. It is crazy. Second thing about Christianity that I don't understand is the church. There was no church in the times of Jesus. I don't know where this church thing came from. I need to research more. Yes, Jesus went to the synagogue when he was young, but when he grew up, he realized that places of worship are nothing but politics and business. And Jesus realized this, and he disliked going to these places of worship because he knew that they were just hypocrites and conspirators running these places. And they even conspired and had Jesus crucified. Yes, Jesus avoided these places of worship when he grew up, when he realized exactly what they were. Jesus would prefer preaching under trees, preaching in open spaces, than going to the synagogue. Third thing I don't understand about Christianity is missionaries. Yes, these missionaries, who are they? They were claiming to be spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, a Jew from Israel, but they were all from Europe. I've never heard of a missionary from Israel. I've never heard of a Jewish pastor. Have you ever seen any Jews going around trying to convert people to Judaism? I think these missionaries were really on a mission. They were spies. They came ahead of the British Army. How come they only built churches in places where they found gold and diamond and stuff? I mean, these guys are well remembered for their favorite sex position than the spread of the gospel. Anyway, that's the third weird thing and strange thing about Christianity that I don't understand. The fourth and last one is monogamy. Who brought this monogamy nonsense into Christianity? I don't understand. Because if you look, all the great men of God, Joseph, Jacob, Solomon, all the kings of Israel, Abraham himself, they all had multiple wives. But today Christians won't think twice about kicking you out of their church if they hear that you've married a second wife. What nonsense is this? Who brought this into Christianity? Because there are less men on earth than women. If every man has one woman, who's going to marry the rest? That's why there's so much prostitution in these so-called Christian nations. Christianity was originally designed to protect the welfare of a woman. Christianity made sure that every woman has a man. Every woman has a home of her own where she will raise the children and has a decent life. I think this monogamy came from Europe because these are the guys that brought this Christianity here and they corrupted it. They didn't understand it or something. They brought a lifestyle as Christianity instead of a religion. But anyway, those are the four crazy, weird things I don't understand about Christianity. Do you know why pastors in Africa and Asia are always preaching in English when they're preaching to their local audience? I was surprised to find out. The Zionists in North America, they didn't just buy their way into the US government. They bought their way into global church governance. Yes. Most of these churches that you see where you go, all these, except the traditional churches like Catholic Church and others, but most of these Pentecostal churches, whatever you call them, most of these modern churches, they are funded by the Zionist movement in North America. Yes, they receive money. Imagine $10,000. How much is it in your country in Africa? They spend so little money to buy their way into brainwashing the whole world. You might wonder why they would be funding churches across the world, in Africa and in Asia, to promote the Zionist image, to promote the lie that the Israelis are the Israelites of the Bible, and to hide what they've been doing all these years. That's exactly what they've been doing. To promote the image of Israel, to present Israel like the victim, to present Israel like the only democracy in the Middle East, to present, basically to do the PR for Israel. And these churches have been receiving this funding. And when, let's go back to the question. Why do pastors always preach in English when they are preaching to their local folk? They even have a translators right there translating. Oh, God, this is what? God, this and that. God, this and that. And somebody's translating. Wherever you go, East Africa, West Africa, Indonesia, everywhere. Why? They are preaching back to their funders, the people that give them the money, the people that build their churches, the people that sponsor their flashy lifestyles, the shiny suits, the people that buy all that. When they talk about receiving money from the US, funding from the US, is the Zionist movement. Why would a local pastor be preaching in English when he's preaching to his own people? They are preaching, taping the whole thing, so that the people that fund their TV programs and everything can tune in and see that they are pushing the agenda. And what's the agenda? The agenda is to paint Israel as the victim, as the innocent, as the God's chosen. That's exactly what it is. So they preach in English to their own people. And I've been wondering all these years. They are preaching to these guys. When they tape it, they send it back to them, and those guys can be watching and saying, oh yeah, they're spreading the message, they're on point, send them more money. It's crazy. This Zionist movement has captured not only governments around the world, they've captured the culture, religion, and everything. It's crazy.